Hey, welcome to javahome Cloud. In this video, we will learn 10 Docker interview questions. I'll share the remaining questions in upcoming videos. Let's get started. What is the command to run a Docker container? This is a basic question, but sometimes interviewers do ask basic questions. Let's see the command to run a Docker container. The command is docker run -d. D means detach mode, that is, run the container in the background, not in the foreground. And optionally, we need to do a port mapping. Only then we can access the container from outside of its network. I'm going to run nginx container, so I'm doing a port mapping between 80, this is host port, and 80, this is container port. We cannot choose a different container port because the image I'm going to use, that is nginx image, is configured to run on 80, so we cannot change this. However, host port can be different. Let's give name to this container followed by the image to run the container. Yeah, this is the command to run the container. Next question is, what is the command to list running containers? It is docker ps command. There are two containers currently running. The one we just created and other one which was running since 26 hours. In the same question, they may also ask, what is a command to show running and exited containers? I mean all containers in all states. Docker ps -a. This shows running as well as exited containers, both. The next question is, how do you get inside a container? For example, we deployed application on a container, but something is wrong. The application is not coming up. Now, I may have to go inside the container and open a specific log file and see why the application is not coming up. So now the point is how to get inside the container. The command is docker exec, but before that, let me get docker container name, either name or container ID. Let's go with container name docker exec -it, name of the container, and bash. So this command, exec command, allows us to get inside the container. Now the terminal we are in right now is inside nginx container. You can just do listing files, listing folders, or opening a file and viewing logs, all such things. Let's exit from this container. The next question, how do you check CPU and memory utilization of containers? Docker stats. This command shows up all running containers along with CPU utilization, memory usage, and other details. Let's press Q to come, let's press Ctrl C on Windows. Even on MacBook, it is Ctrl C itself to come out of that stats command. The next question, what is a command to display container logs? Docker logs name of the container, and yeah, this logs command shows the logs for the specified container. The next question, there is a file on container, maybe a very big log file. Now I want that log file to be present in my local so that it is easy for me to open and view in local rather going inside the container. Then how you do this? Let's do one thing. Let's get inside Nginx container. Let's create one dummy file for the sake of demonstration. Echo some text. This command creates jhc.log. In that it puts this text message. Now I want this file which is inside the container on my local host. Let's exit from the container. Okay, run the command docker cp, source is container and target is localhost. In this, provide container name followed by the path of the file on the container space the destination, which is dot nothing but current folder on my docker host, nothing but on my laptop. This command copied a file from container onto my host. Let's see that using cat command. Perfect. Next question is, how do you pass environment variables to the container at runtime? Okay, let's say there is a Java application running inside the container. This Java application connects to database and I want to pass database details like IP, port, username, password. I mean, there are best practices to handle secrets, but I'm not talking about best practices here. I'm just giving a scenario using environment variables. Okay. Now, while running the container, you can pass environment variables in the command line itself, or we can put environment variables in a file. Let's say there are 20 or 30 environment variables. Passing them one by one at command prompt may not be easy. Put all those environment variables into a file and provide the path of the file. Let me first show passing environment variables using -e option. For that, I would like to delete containers, docker rm -f. I'm doing a force remove because we cannot remove running containers. To remove running containers, we should use -f. So let me pass both and delete it. Now let's go back to run option here, -e. Let's say I want to pass db host and likewise I want to pass one more environment variable. Repeat -e space db port equals the port number followed by name of the container and the image to use for running this container. Of course, container got created successfully. But how do I check if these environment variables are present inside the container? Let's run a command docker exec -it container name. See, we are getting inside the container, and run a command print env that must show db port and db host. So this is one option to pass environment variables to the container. But like I said, if there are multiple environment variables, repeating -e every time you run this container may not be feasible. So the other option is, let's exit. Let's also remove this container again. Let's create one file and put environment variables in that file. Let me use file name is your choice. I'm giving the database host name plus database port. Likewise, you can put any number of environment variables in this. Now docker run. We don't want to use -e anymore. -env file / means current directory. Yeah, I'm giving the path of the file which contains environment variables. Now let's go inside this container, run print env command. Yes, we do see db host and db port. Let's exit from this container. The next question is, what is dangling image in Docker and how to delete dangling images? First of all, let's see what is dangling image. An image which doesn't have the name, image name and image version is called dangling image. Okay, how dangling images are created? Let me show how dangling images are created. Let me create one sample Docker file. All right, docker build -t okay, it's going to pick current Docker file in this path and build an image. It is success, right? Let's say I'm changing something inside Docker file. Oh, I'm sorry. Use vi. Yeah, but I'm building image again. If you notice, I'm using same version, right? So when I use same version again, We can't have two images with same version. So what happens? The previous image becomes dangling. Let me show how to list dangling images. Docker images. I will use filter option. -f means filter. Dangling equals true. There are two images, correct, which are dangling. Repository is none, tag is none. So we call such images dangling. Now the question is, see, we don't need them, right? Obviously, how to remove dangling images? One way is get all dangling images ID, pass this information to docker rmi command. See this? When I run docker images -f dangling equals true, it's giving list of dangling images, which includes repository, tag, image ID, so on. But I want only image IDs. For that, use -q. See this? This command is returning only image IDs of dangling images. I want this as an argument for remove command. Docker rmi. What is that? Remove image. The subcommand should go inside dollar parenthesis and pass on. Okay, that's fine. One image is deleted, but the other image is used by a container. That's the reason we are unable to delete that. But whatever, if you want to delete, you can force delete it. I'm sorry, there is no concept of force removing images. The only way is delete the container, only then remove the image. But to remove dangling images which are not in use, the command is docker rmi. To the main command rmi, pass a subcommand which will list only dangling image IDs. This option -q returns only image IDs. The next question, how do you remove a running container? Of course, in previous questions, I have shown how to removing a container. That is also an interview question. Let's do docker ps. It displays running container. The question is how to remove running containers. Docker rm. Remember, rmi stands for remove image. Just rm stands for remove container. Either give container ID or image name. But see this, using a normal remove command, we cannot remove running container. Let's say, but still you want to remove running container, the only option is force remove -f and container ID or container name. Yeah, the last question for this video is, how do you check the IP address and other details of a container? Let's first create container. I don't want to use env file. Run. Yeah. To see details about container, that could be IP address, that could be the network to which it is attached to, use docker inspect followed by container ID or container name, and this is IP address. This information shows to which network this container is attached to and much more details. That's all for this video. I will cover much more advanced and I'll cover much more advanced interview questions in upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.